Hey, it's Xenokron here, and I am going to finish off the Enforcer Career Agent missions. There are 10, and we have 4 remaining. So let's go ahead and get started. So, number 7 says destroy the pirates at the convoy ambush site. You get low on hit points, simply warp out, regenerate, and warp back in. So they are going to give us a shield booster. All right, so that is going to be something we're going to go ahead and get upon accept. So we're going to want to fit that in there. And what a shield booster does is it helps regenerate your shields. So it basically repairs them. So let's go to our fitting window. And I'm not sure, but I don't think we're going to be stable anymore. So let's fit to active ship. And I do not have the skills. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on show information. And we're going to go to requirements. So I need to have this one right here. So if you remember, I have 22,525 unallocated skill points. So what I can do is I can hover over this. First of all, I can go ahead and buy the skill. And now by right-clicking, I can go and apply skill points. So it's going to take 250 skill points. So I'm going to put that in. And just for good measure, I'm also going to use another 1165 so that I have level 2. Now, if you notice, my capacitor has gone down quite a bit. So what that means is if I try to run it nonstop, my capacitor will run out and anything that's using capacitor will shut down and not work until the capacitor regenerates. And that is definitely not something that you want to happen in the middle of a fight. So you do need to be careful and watch your capacitor. And once we get undocked here, I will go ahead and show you. Oh, and they are back at the shuttles again. I was looking at the Z-Kill the other day when they did this, and it looked like they were just basically padding their Z-Kill, though I'm not quite sure why. Yep, so it's the same person there. So let's go ahead, and here is your capacitor. So that is what you need to watch. You need to make sure that this doesn't all disappear. So we're going to warp to the site. And if you notice, we lost a little bit of a capacitor right there to warping to a site. So we just want to be careful. So what we're going to do is when we start to take some damage, we're going to periodically just pulse it. What that means is you hit it once and then you turn it back off. And you repair a little bit of damage and then you stop and you let your capacitor go ahead and catch back up. So we've got 2 guys here. So I am going to orbit. And then once we get in range, we are going to go ahead and start shooting. Bring up what else I can. I'm going to shoot this guy. All right. Now, right now, we don't have to worry. We're not taking any damage. And so we don't have to worry about the shield. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my shield hardener on and keep an eye on the capacitor as I fight. All right. So notice that it's kind of going down there. All right. and watch to see if it regenerates. So we're going to go ahead and start shooting. That guy's close enough. And he's starting to shoot missiles at us. And so notice we're starting to take some damage. And I'm going to let that damage build up. We have a long time before we got to worry. And notice how just by running this alone, my capacitor is already training. That whole row is gone. And this row is gone. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this pulse. And notice how it's starting to take away damage. But look at my capacitor. My capacitor has also gone down quite a bit. So I am going to stop doing that, and I'm going to continue to shoot. So you've just got to make sure when you're using that you pulse it and keep an eye on your capacitor. You don't want to overuse it, and you don't want to get yourself into a jam because you don't have any capacitor left. You only want to use it when absolutely necessary. Being trash talked by an NPC. All right. And he is dead, so we can go back. But what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you what happens when you run out of cap. Because right now, it's a much better time to run out of capacitor than in the middle of a fight. So keep an eye on my capacitor, and you will see that it's going to steadily go down. And then when it hits about a quarter left, you're going to hear a little alert letting you know that you're running out of capacitor. But a lot of times it's easy to miss that alert in the middle of a fight. So that was the noise, and you will keep hearing it. And eventually, I will run out of capacitor. And you'll watch, and you'll see that my hardener and my shield repper will go ahead and just stop working. So I am out of capacitor. And so my shield repper died, but apparently I had just enough so that my hardener did not die. So remember, you do not want to just put that on and forget about it, because that could kill you in a fight. All right, so let's go ahead and dock and turn this bad boy in. But there's a little lesson for you in capacitor and kind of how to keep an eye on it and why it's important. You will find in Eve, capacitor is life. It's not necessarily bad to have a ship that is not cap stable. However, it is something that you have to be cognizant of and be aware of, and make sure that you keep that in mind when you're using your different modules. All right. Turn this in. And we are going to get about 400, a little over 400,000, 425. All right. And let's request our next mission. So we are going to get 2 overdrive injector systems. All right, we're going to be granted that, so we're going to want to put those on. those go in our low slots, and we're going to get a little over about 425,000 again. So let's accept. Now, that is something we're going to put on. Those go in our low slots. And if you're not sure what something does, go ahead and show info. Now, your description tab will tell you. So this says this monster unit vastly increases engine power at the expense of cargo capacity. Penalty: using more than one type of this module or similar modules that affect the same attribute on the ship will be penalized. So basically, the more of something you use, you'll get diminishing returns, meaning each one that you add will give you less of whatever attribute you're adding to it. So we are going to put these in our low slots. If you're not sure where it goes, you would go to your fitting and it tells you right here, low power. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put those in there. Now, if you look, we are down to 108 M3 space. Now, if I take one out, we have 127 total. And if I take both of them out, we have 150. So you can see that those are going to take up some of your cargo space like they say they do. But at the same time, this also gives your engine more power. So when we look here, 429.9 meters per second. And when we turn those off, we can only go 356. So a lot of things in Eve give you a positive on one thing, but a negative on another. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. I am going to make sure that I don't run out of ammo. So I'm going to add a little bit more ammo. And I did not read that like I should have. So let's read this. It says some envoys have asked for safe passage. They're afraid of Tamar. They want a good pilot to pick them up and deliver them to safety. All right, so now one thing we got to keep in mind, we have less cargo room than we did before. All right, so we're only using 1.5 M3 of 108, so we should be good, but it doesn't show what we're supposed to pick up here. So let's start the conversation. Sometimes it tells you what you're picking up and you can see how much room it takes. But this time it's not going to. So let's just go out and do it and see what happens. Warp to the site. I wonder about people sometimes. I really do. Not quite sure what they're getting by taking characters and putting them in shuttles and killing them, unless they're trying to kill the shuttle market so they can sell them for more. Who knows? All right, so apparently we probably need to go over here. All right, so we need to get out of here quick. So I turned on my micro warp drive, and so, or my afterburner, but we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We're going to warp away. So I'm going to turn that off. We took a little bit of damage, but not too bad. It was going to keep pulsing with damage. They were smart bombs. So I decided just to go ahead and leave instead of trying to kill those last things. All right. So we're going to go ahead and dock up. All right. Easy peasy. So what I am going to do though is, well, let's see what this next mission is first. See if they give us another fitting. So they're going to give us a stasis web of fire. So we're going to destroy the narcotics warehouse and report back to an agent. All right. So what a web of fire does is it slows a ship down, making it easier to hit. So we are going to go ahead and I am going to take these out. Well, I'm going to take one of those out. And oh, I thought it was giving it to us. Oh, that's a reward. Okay, so we won't have to worry about that for now. All right, so we are going to undock. The old security missions for career agents, one of them had you learn how to use the stasis web of fire by webifying somebody. So I thought that's what that one was going to be. So always read, never assume, right? You know what happens when you make an assumption, when you assume something. So don't do what I did. Do what I say. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. All right. So we're going to have to go in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making my way. I am going to put my hardener on, though I probably won't need it. I am going to target them, but I'm not going to worry about them for right now. All right, so we got to destroy the warehouse. Okay. Well, they have not targeted me yet. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to turn my afterburner on so I can get there a little bit more quickly. Now, some missions will not let you activate the acceleration gate until you have killed everything. And so these guys are going to go ahead and they're going to come after me anyway. So let's go ahead and orbit this. I'll turn that off. And, well, maybe they're not going to come for me. Let's just go ahead, do a little bit of shooting and see what happens. All right, nothing. So, oh, and I cannot. There we go. Okay. It will let me take the gate. I wasn't sure, but they did not red box me. They targeted me, but they did not actually attempt to shoot me. All right, so there is our narcotics warehouse. So I'm going to go ahead and orbit that. I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to have to adjust where those are at. And I am going to, I thought I made these. Okay. That down lower, there we go. He's within range. He's within range. Got a couple more coming out. Now, right now, I'm not using anything that's going to take up my capacitor except for my guns. And so unless I'm taking damage, I'm not going to worry about changing that. All right, so we're close enough. Don't know if they're going to keep bringing things, but after this guy is dead, I'm going to go ahead and start shooting that anyway. And he's not coming in, so let's go ahead and start shooting at this. He's staying out of reach. Oh, now here he comes. And now I'll go ahead and try to take him out. Taking a little bit of damage here. I am going to put on my partner, but I'm not too worried about the damage. All right. I'm going to go ahead and finish taking this out. Now, as you can see, there's some wrecks that I can loot, but these beginner levels, there's generally nothing worth looting. Just really isn't worthwhile. All right. And that is done. So we'll turn off our hardener and we will go and dock up. And we have one more. What I am going to do is I am going to do all of the beginning level career agents. So my next group of videos will probably be on the mining ones. So let's complete this mission. We're going to get 197,000 ISK and a stasis web of fire. There we go. Be careful, you do not want to use that on a player while you're in high sec. But it is used all the time in PvP and low sec and null sec and wormholes. All right, so we've got that hooked up. Let's see here. Refill our guns. And I'm just going to put that remaining in there. Now I am going to have to go and get more ammo. I don't know if I can actually get it here at this station. Yes. Yes, I can. So now the prices are all going crazy. So what I like to do is put the lowest price on top, and then I'll scroll down and see where it says station. That means I can get it here at this station. If it says system, then you can get it at a station in the system you're in. So let's go ahead and let's buy another 2,000. Obviously, I'm not going to need them for this mission, but it's just nice to have them so you don't run out. So, quest mission, and I'm going to be given a Merlin. All right, so it says if your shields and armor are depleted and you're close to taking hull damage, warp out immediately. You can either dock at a nearby station and pay its repair shop to fix your ship, or you can use an armor repair module while in space. So we do not have an armor repair module. Plus, we are also a shield ship, so we don't want to have that anyway. All right, so we're going to get about 400,000. So this one is kind of letting you know that the combat may be a little bit more difficult. So if we need to, we will warp out and come back. Now, this is a new player starting area, and so we scroll through all these things. There really aren't any player stations in here. But if you go to a player station that you can dock in, then you can also tether up to it and it will repair any damage that you have for no charge. So we need to go 4 jumps. I really need to do my overview, and I think I'll make a video on overviews as well. Show you where you can get the different overviews and show you how to adjust the overview, because this really is very basic and it's not very good. So if we go to a station that has a player-owned station, I'll show you the difference. All NPC stations are going to be square on your overview like those. That's how you know if it's a NPC one or not. But I will show you, hopefully, one of these two systems will have some player stations in them. All right, this one does not. But this next one is a 0.6, and that means a lower security. And so there's a good chance that that one will have a player station. And it'd be really good if one of them allows me to dock and one does not. That way I can show you the difference on the overview for that as well. In high sec, if you go to one you can't dock in, it doesn't really matter. But in low sec, null sec, or a wormhole, if you go there and you're expecting to tether and you're not allowed, you won't be able to. So we have one here, it's a Fortizar. Now if you notice, there is a slash right there. And that slash means that I have no docking access. It also means that I will not be able to tether up, which means that I cannot get repaired and I am not safe. If you are tethered on a station, a player-owned station that you have docking access to, it does not allow you to be targeted. But as you can see, nothing is happening. Normally you would see a little blue thing down here showing that you were tethered. So I'll let that wait for another video. No, we still got one more jump to make. So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe the next one will have one we can dock into. All right. All right, so yeah, I'm going to show you. Now this one here, if you notice, these have little arrows. And that arrow means that I can dock. But I'm going to show you what a tether looks like so you know before I warp to the site and finish this up. Now remember, when you are tethered, it will repair your ship and it will also keep you from being able to be targeted, which means you can't be attacked. So right here shows us that we're tethered. And so if somebody were to fly up to us and try to target us, it would show us as invulnerable and they would not be able to. If I had damage, after about, yeah, there we go. See, it's repairing any damage. Really, it was just doing the capacitor. But if you have damage, you can sit there and it will go ahead and repair whatever damage you have. So these stations, Fortizar and we have an Athenor and an Asbel. Those we could dock at, and we can tether up to. If you can dock, you can tether. If you can't dock, you can't tether. Nice and simple. All right. So if I do take some damage and I have to warp out, I'm going to warp to one of those places so it can repair me. Now, if it's just shields or capacitor, you can dock up into a station and then come back out and your shields and stuff will be repaired. Armor and hull damage, you actually have to repair those. Docking up will not fix those. All right, so there is our warp, our acceleration gate. So I am going to orbit that. And we have to take out these guys before I can use that acceleration gate. Not a whole lot of fighting, but okay, he's too far. So I'm going to go ahead and go to them because apparently they don't seem to be making their way to me. So I'm going to go ahead and orbit him. And he is in range. So I'm going to start hitting him. I'm going to keep an eye on my damage. I'm going to put my partner on for right now to take less damage. It'll ease the damage that I'm taking. And notice he is getting shield repaired. All right. And I am going to do a couple reps with this. But I don't want to do too much because I don't want to run my capacitor out. All right, so I'm going to turn that off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to orbit this for a minute. I'm going to let my capacitor do a little bit of recharge here. And we'll go ahead and knock the rest of this one out. So notice over here now it says acceleration gate, so I can use it. It was where before it told me I had to kill so many characters. Later on, when it is not new player missions, it's not going to tell you how many you have to kill. But you'll know if you get up to the gate and it won't let you use it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and orbit these guys and start fighting them because I don't want to go all the way to the gate and they don't follow me or something. So as soon as this guy is within 6,000, there we go. I can start shooting him. Notice here it says 1 remaining. So as soon as I kill him, okay, more are coming in. So I cannot start my run at the acceleration gate yet. Well, they are a ways away. I'm going to go ahead and use my afterburner a little bit. Now, if you're watching my capacitor, you will notice that I have not used it a whole lot. I've been very careful to minimize my use of the stuff that drains my capacitor. My afterburner used up some. Went ahead and turned it off. Now I may need to use my shield repper. I may not. We're not taking that much damage there. Getting out of range. Apparently I was orbiting the other guy. There we go. All right, 2 more. Now your shields over time will automatically recharge, so you don't have to worry. Armor and hull points will never recharge unless you repair them yourself. All right. Run this a couple times. There we go. Turn it back off. Now, for some reason, I am not doing much damage to this guy at all. So he's got a lot better resists or something. Plus, he does have a shield repper as well. Oh, I am not taking that much damage. I'll let my capacitor rep up a little bit. He is almost dead. Run this a couple times. Take my damage down. There we go. And now we are free to use the gate. All right. Hopefully this is the last room here. And so we do not have, I do not see another gate here. But we got Aurora telling us something. I have located your target. He is in fact inside a stolen Navy ship. All right, so we something is going to slow us down. It would be this tower here. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to shoot that. So it might help when I actually get close enough to it. So I am going to start shooting him. And notice we're taking quite a bit more damage. And part of that is because we are going slower than we were because of the, oh no, we actually have not been webified. So I am going to web him because he is going faster than me. And let's go ahead and orbit him. We are slowing him down by webbing him, which is making him easier for us to hit. Which means our ammo will hit him harder. It'll apply better and do more damage. So now I'm going to go ahead and orbit this guy. I'm going to slow down this other one, and I'm going to shoot him. Now I am going to run this a couple times. I am taking more damage. Nothing to worry about. So now I'm going to webify him. Shoot him. I'm going to turn that off. All right. So now we got to kill the tower. So we're going to go ahead and orbit the tower. And just for fun, I'm going to web it. It doesn't matter because it's not going to go anywhere because it's stationary. But all right. Almost have it done. And that is it. Oh, there's our pirate. So we are going to orbit him. And we are definitely going to web him. And it's funny that it's taking so much longer to kill a capsule than some of those ships. All right. We're going to set our destination. We are done. So, actually, I don't have enough damage. Well, I'm going to go ahead and warp over here. And hopefully, you can see I'm also going to run my repper, and I'm going to use a bunch of my capacitor as well. It took my damage away, though. Oh, well. I'll just run my repper, and you'll see that once it starts repairing me, it'll go ahead and take care of my... All right. So if you watch, as soon as that repair comes up, you're going to see my capacitor start to fill up real quick. See, it's almost a whole bar at a time when you're being repaired. So it speeds it up. And if I had any shield damage or armor or hull damage, it would start repairing that as well. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get out of here and turn this in, and we will have completed the first career agent. Each career agent has a series of 10 different missions they give you, and those missions will never expire. So if you stop halfway through and you want to pick it up a week later, a month later, a year later, 10 years later, they will still be sitting there waiting for you to finish. As where when you get to regular mission agents, those will time out after a while. If you accept one and you do not complete it and turn it in, they will take the mission away from you and give you a negative standing for not completing it. It's so weird seeing the things highlighted. Just definitely not used to that. All right. It's 2 more jumps. Now, with upcoming videos, I really hope to show things that people never told me about, um, even simple things that I just was not aware of, that a lot of people are not aware of. I want to show you how to fit ships, a lot of the different aspects of the game. So many people quit because the game is confusing and they don't understand it. And I'm going to hopefully slow it down for you and make it easier for you so that you're going to want to stay and play, because it truly is an amazing game. There is nothing like it that I have played, and I have played a lot of MMOs, and this is truly unique, and by far probably my most favorite game. And if it isn't my favorite, it's definitely in the top like 2 or 3. I killed somebody in a rookie ship. All right, let's turn this in. And we're going to get another Merlin. As I told you, you'll get free ships by doing these. So we've made a little over 3 million. We've got some different fittings for our ship, and we now have 2 Merlins. So that is it for this. We have finished our Enforcer Career Agent, if you'll notice. It is now red because we cannot take it anymore. We have already completed it. So that is it. Stay tuned for more. I think I will do the mining industrialist one next. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Plus, it tells YouTube how I'm doing. Thank you, and fly dangerous.